Nashvillians know hard work. But listen, that doesn't mean you have to do it all yourself. TaxRabbit has been helping folks in Music City for over a decade with everything from furniture assembly to minor home repairs. If it's a gorgeous weekend out, do not let that to-do list ruin it for you. Just hop on the TaskRabbit app, describe what you need, and find a skilled tasker right in your neighborhood who can take it off your plate. Pricing is totally transparent. You'll see the hourly rate up front, which includes the tasker rate and the service fee, so there are no surprises at checkout. Download the TaskRabbit app or visit taskrabbit.com today to get those home to-dos crossed off. Today on CityCast Nashville, it's time for our Friday News Roundup. I'm joined by our executive producer, Whitney Pasterek, and newsletter editor, Margaret Kingsbury. And together we discuss Metro Council votes no to an ice storm credit from Metro Water. The state says yes to a $100 million disaster fund. Is it enough? Will school vouchers get passed? When will gas prices go down? Early voting starts next week on April 15th. And we introduce a brand new bonus segment for members only called Hell Nah. It's Friday, April 10th. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson, and this is what Nashville's talking about. This week at Metro Council, the biggest question was, are we all going to get $26? The mayor had proposed issuing Metro Water users a credit on their bills due to the winter storm, which would have cost the city $6 million, but also given everyone free money. Whitney, am I rich?
Alas, Marie, you are not rich. Council voted 18-16 against this measure after several council members, led by Courtney Johnston, pointed out that our water bills were not really where we saw the biggest increases after the storm, and that this would cost $6 million. I mean, obviously, that's not true for people who had burst pipes, but by and large, water was not the issue during Winter Storm Fern. I did think it was an odd mix of folks voting against this. Like, it's the usual austerity folks, but then also like council members Jenny Welsh and Terry Vo said no. But the mayor is big mad. He issued a statement on Wednesday saying, quote, "At a time when people are hurting from higher prices everywhere, coupled with winter storm damage costs, this council couldn't see fit to return $26 to every Nashvillian. Metro has tightened its belt multiple times, and Water assured us they could too. This is an incredibly disappointing outcome after a devastating weather event." Marie, Margaret, would $26 have been life-changing for you?
Yes.
Oh, no.
You know, for my kid, it would be. She's trying to save $21 to buy a cat puppet at Barnes & Noble.
Is the water bill under her name?
No, sadly, it is not. Maybe a little more helpful would be like canceling out everyone's January Nashville electric service bills.
Yeah, something like that would be nice. Like, we know how much money NES has to spend on things like texting apps that don't work.
And private security.
Have they had to tighten their belts?
And all the publicity they've been doing.
The lobbyists.
And the consultants.
To save face.
Yep.
It seems like it was a nice thing that the mayor was trying to do, but really, $26.
And it really was like $8 to $26. So like $8. I mean, $8.
You can get like a matcha for $8. What else happened at council this week, Marie?
The childcare bills we discussed with Shatika Davis were also on Tuesday's agenda, but only one of them passed second reading, which was Clay Capp's bill to ease the permitting process for people wanting to start daycare centers. So if you missed that episode, y'all, please go back and listen. It's a really great one we're very proud of. The bill eliminating the 1,000-foot zoning restriction was deferred, so stay tuned to learn if we can someday give childcare centers the same freedom as fast food restaurants.
Yes.
If only.
And
If Taco Bell and Cookout can be immediately next door to one another, I don't see the problem here.
Finally, council members deferred a vote on what to do with the scrapyard on the East Bank until the April 21st meeting. Whitney, why did this get deferred?
I think it's because it got loaded up with about a kabillion amendments, and the bill's sponsor, downtown councilmember Jacob Coupin, needed more time to work through all of them, he said. So As people at home might remember, this is not the East Bank we're talking about. This is the East Bend, which is located to the south of the East Bank on the East Bank, but has been named the East Bend by the developers who bought the scrapyard. And they have been putting out all these stories. We've talked about it here on the show about how they want to make this like a family-friendly neighborhood, right? They want to put a Nashville Children's Museum there, but they also want to put 40-story buildings there, and all of it's on a scrapyard that has to be environmentally remediated. So it's a complicated site. And the East Nashville Council members are especially concerned about what's going to go there. Probably because it's located in what used to be East Nashville until they pulled the East Bank, which is the stadium area, into the downtown planning zone. And that's what they're also planning to do with the East Bend. So now what you can do in downtown has kind of swum across the river to our side.
Come on over, baby.
Well, okay. Well, within the amendments, there are a bunch of concerns about height of these buildings, roads, bike lanes, and amendments that would place limits on hotels and parking. But, you know, the fact of the matter is all of this is sort of speculative because no real plans have been drawn up for this neighborhood. There is definitely suspicion that the developer who purchased it is looking at it as an opportunity to flip the land once this sort of zoning code structure gets placed on it.
It could be an episode of Flip or Flop. You know.
Well, Margaret, you live all the way down in Bellevue. Does the East Bank factor into any conversations that your neighbors are having?
I don't think I've ever heard a single person from Bellevue mention the East Bank. I'm sorry to say, because I know it's a big topic of conversation for y'all across the river, but it's not here. I'm interested personally because I do actually leave Bellevue on the weekends, you know, and venture out. I know. So I'm curious about the Children's Museum and if there's going to be more green space and how it's going to change, like, because it's going to be a pretty big change to the shape of downtown. Like, it's going to look a lot different. So I'm curious how that will play out.
I think it really is just so much more topical for those of us who have to like interface with that land by driving or taking a bus or riding a bike through it to get anywhere.
That's completely understandable.
That's how we get out of our beautiful, perfect neighborhood.
And we get to pass both our stadiums every time.
We do. If we put height there, if we put 40-story buildings there, that could generate a whole lot of housing for people in a city where we're in a housing crisis.
People just always seem to be mad about density, housing density.
Right. And change.
Yeah, change.
I actually got a postcard this week announcing a luxury apartment building in the Gulch for $1.6 million for like 1 to 5 bedrooms.
Well, you're jumping on that offer, right?
I know. Absolutely. I just got to hit up Metro Water a couple more times.
Just a few more times.
All right. Before we close out this segment, we want to put something on your radar. Did you know that we have a local election coming up on May 5th?
What?
Yes. Please lean in, folks. Early voting starts next Wednesday, April 15th, and you should have gotten a sample ballot in your mailbox by now. Margaret, what are we voting on this time?
I did get my sample ballot this week, so yay. What's on there? Judges, court clerks, county clerk, public defender, county trustee, sheriff, register of deeds, school board members in even number districts, and county Democratic Party executive committee people. That's a lot, folks.
It sounds like a lot, but don't freak out. A lot of folks on this ballot are running unopposed. I would also like to point out that no Republicans qualified on this ballot. Republicans will be voting for write-in candidates only. If you live in one of the school board districts where you do have a couple people running in the primary against one another, I trust you to read up on these folks and make the right choice. And even if you don't have kids, I still trust you to care about this. If you want to learn more about the candidates, NOAA is hosting a forum this Sunday, April 12th. You can get information about that on their Instagram. So it's really the judges and the clerks where you've got some tough choices to make. Do either of you know the difference between judges and courts and clerks and what they all do?
Nope.
Nope.
See, that's the problem. It's hard to know what to do because unless you or your family has been like touched by the court system in some way, you probably just have no clue the differences. So I want to shout out the Nashville Banner. They've got questionnaires with all the judicial candidates up on their site, so you can read those. Another tip I like to use, I talk to my friends who are lawyers. They tend to know these folks and how they run their courtrooms. I will also point out that this is that beautiful time of year when all these candidates are showing up at everything. Like I was at East Nashville Beer Works on Wednesday night, accidentally, again, for the East Nashtivist meeting. I just went to have a beer and there were the Nashtivists and I love them so much. But like every single judicial candidate was there. So I got to meet all of them and talk to them and look them in the eye. And that was pretty fun. There are two races I do want to call out because this is classic Nashville election. So if you want to follow this like a soap opera, here's your best chance. Circuit Court Clerk, we've got Joseph Day, who's the incumbent. And his opponent is Howard Jones. He's back, baby. Y'all are probably familiar with him. You've seen his signs.
I've seen his
familiar.
signs,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, he's previously run for Metro Council at Large. He's previously run for Circuit Court Clerk. And he also once ran for Tennessee State Senate. He loves to run. He loves to run for elections. And his campaign signs will outlive us all. And then County Clerk. Does anyone know what the County Clerk does?
Sympathize with civilians. There's all these videos of like people going to the county clerk's office, like getting a marriage license or.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I had to go to the county clerk to get my marriage license.
There you go. Our current county clerk, Brenda Wynn, is retiring. Okay. So this has set up a three-way race between very familiar names. First, Frida Player. Frida is currently the chair of the school board. She has been endorsed by Brenda Wynn, and she has a long history of service at SEIU and in David Briley's mayoral administration. Second, Sharon Hurt, former at-large Metro Council member who also, you might remember, ran for mayor in 2023. And finally, Pam Murray. Who's Pam Murray, you might ask? Well, regular listeners of this podcast will know that she is the former council member here in District 5 in East Nashville who was recalled in 2009. Why? Because she was allegedly living in Detroit at the time. Pam has previously run for Circuit Court Clerk, District 5 Council again twice, and Register of Deeds. How do y'all feel about these perpetual ballot appearers?
Good for them. I mean, they clearly feel called to this. So maybe someday the city will agree.
If anything, I'd love to see more ballot appearers.
Oh, nice.
Good point.
Let's get everybody on there. Anybody with an interest, throw your hat in. I want to see you.
This is my favorite time of year. These kind of tiny local elections for jobs that not everyone knows what they do. It's where you get the best characters. It's where you get the best soap operas. If you've been following the story of Pam Murray for as long as I have, it's like Christmas is coming in May. So get out there and vote, everybody.
I wish everyone was as enthusiastic as you, Whitney.
I'm not normal.
Hey y'all, looking for a reason to touch some grass this spring? Nashville Earth Day is coming up on Saturday, April 18th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's all happening at Centennial Park. This free, family-friendly festival is all about celebrating our planet and finding simple ways to make a difference right here in Middle Tennessee. You'll find more than 75 exhibitors and vendors, from local growers and makers to nonprofits and sustainable small businesses. Plus, live music headlined by the Watson Twins. Also, a speaker's tent, Kidsville games and activities, an EV car show, yoga, and lots of food and drinks galore. Oh, and free trees. How could I forget? Yes, really, while supplies last. Nashville Earth Day is produced by the nonprofit Centennial Park Conservancy in partnership with Urban Green Lab and supported by Amazon and CityCast Nashville. Join us on April 18th and visit NashvilleEarthDay.org for more details. All right, Margaret, what happened this week at the Tennessee General Assembly?
Immigration reporting has been dropped from the State House version of the private school voucher bill. So public school funding will not be tied to the immigration status of students. Phew, that's a relief. Right now, the Senate and House versions of the bill do not match, and they need to match to pass. The House version expands school vouchers from $20K to $35K, while the Senate version doubles school vouchers to $40K. What do y'all think? Will the Senate and House versions meet? Will school vouchers get expanded?
I mean, it's still behind the budget and we are still so broke.
I know.
Yeah, but isn't this Governor Billy's legacy?
Even the original birth of vouchers with our education savings accounts here in Nashville before they added on the education freedom scholarships that are statewide. The birth of those vouchers was so controversial and so contested, even amongst Republicans. I mean, that was the era back when you had people like pouring cups of pee on each other's chairs in the legislature.
What?
Yeah. It wasn't great. Like, it took a lot to get this thing out the door, and it feels a little bit like some of that same opposition has reappeared this year, trying to put brakes on it, find sort of procedural ways to stall it. I don't know. I really don't know if it will go through.
State lawmakers have also approved a $100 million state disaster fund intended to help local governments and individuals when FEMA aid falls short. As listeners might know, the Trump administration has been downsizing FEMA, leaving states to cover more disaster recovery. Since 2023, Tennessee has experienced 11 disasters that failed to meet FEMA assistance criteria. The bill now moves to Governor Bill Lee's desk to be signed. So this seems like a silly question, but is $100 million enough to cover our disasters? Because we get so many. It seems like we get a ton.
We get a ton. We're definitely the new Tornado Alley. I would say, speaking from my experience in disaster relief and response, no.
Yeah.
But it wasn't supposed to be the state's responsibilities. It was supposed to be FEMA's responsibility. And I don't really know any states that have the budget to be like, don't worry, we'll pick up that check.
Yeah, and that was another question I had. I mean, who should be paying for this sort of stuff? And I mean, I guess that's why FEMA was established, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Communities can't recover from the kinds of things we've seen around here, like Hurricane Helene or like our 2020 tornado or the floods in Waverly. The communities don't have enough money to recover from that stuff on their own, nor do they have the staffing to respond. I mean, that's the other thing that FEMA does is FEMA sends in teams of people to come do assessments and process paperwork and get people really what they're owed in the wake of one of these things. And $100 million wouldn't, I don't even think, cover the staff that we would need to set up that scale of an operation.
Yeah, I suspect you're right.
Certainly, if a tornado came through our brand new stadium, that wouldn't cover the cost.
So sad.
You have to stop watching 911 Nashville.
It's the greatest show on television.
What else happened, Margaret?
The state also passed a bill that would make it a Class A misdemeanor to be in Tennessee for 90 days after a final deportation order is issued. The bill's sponsor, Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, argues the bill will ensure immigration enforcement on the state level regardless of who's president.
I'm going to hit the buzzer on this one. That's a lawsuit, not a law. Tell us why, Margaret.
So the 2012 Supreme Court ruling, Arizona versus United States, held that states can only check status and cannot enforce immigration laws. So if Governor Bill Lee signs this bill, it will likely lead to some costly litigation. Similar bills in other states are held up in federal court right now.
And I would say those concerns also apply to the bill that's part of the Immigration 2026 package. Again, everybody remember this stuff all came from Stephen Miller and the White House and was handed to Tennessee Republicans. But there's another bill that would require all local law enforcement agencies and judges across the state of Tennessee to participate in these 287G agreements. That seems like that would also probably fall under that same issue.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, MNPD, you have to help ICE detain people. It's not their job.
And the amount of taxpayer money that would then go towards supporting ICE.
Well, that's why we cut all the money from FEMA, Marie.
Ah,
yeah, it's
thank
all
you.
going to ICE.
You're welcome.
Great. It's making sense now. Thank you for clearing that up in my brain.
Whitney Marie, how do you feel about what laws they're passing and what do you wish they'd focus on?
I mean,
Gun
if wishes were
reform.
horses.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, Marie, gun
Right.
reform. That'd be great.
Absolutely. I mean, I had to look up like were any bills passed on gun reform this year? And no, not at all. But also plenty of pro-gun bills were introduced. Luckily, they were stalled.
The bill where they were like, if you've been convicted of stalking, you can now carry a shotgun around in parks. Like,
Yes, exactly.
They did decline
They did
to
stall.
pass that
Thank
one.
God. But no gun
you
reform
imagine?
bills were passed this year in session. And after what happened at Covenant and what we're seeing across the country, it's just, I'm not surprised, obviously, because of our supermajority, but it is, again, when we talk about children's safety, the number one cause of children's deaths are firearms.
Yep.
So why are these bills not being passed? It makes me crazy, and it honestly breaks my heart.
Yeah, we talk about the safety of kids. That also includes like enough money to pay for food and medical care and good roads and good
Exactly.
schools and parents having enough cash in their pockets to buy baby formula. And we've not done anything about eliminating the grocery tax again. We've not done anything like passing pot for potholes, which would bring so much revenue into our state. And in fact, one of the reasons why we're going to be broker than broke soon is that all that hemp legislation that they passed last year, that comes due on July 1st, which means that all those taxes we were getting from hemp growers and sellers, bye-bye.
Millions of dollars. Millions.
See ya.
Yep. Speaking of why we have no money, y'all, I could not believe my eyes the other day as I was driving down Gallatin and saw gas prices at the Inglewood Kroger, $3.99 for regular.
Premium was $4.74.
I was just grateful that the Nashville Banner actually reported on this week. You know, obviously the war in Iran is causing the gas prices to skyrocket, but it's affecting local businesses and nonprofits, especially food trucks. That hadn't even occurred to me. But these local food trucks, obviously, they're paying more for their gas to get around town, but also getting the food is costing more. And some of these businesses are really feeling the tightness of things and then trying to just keep their prices down for their consumers.
Right. I was glad they also mentioned Second Harvest, who obviously uses a lot of fuel to transport their food boxes around the city. So we really saw y'all turn up and turn out for Second Harvest during the snap cuts back in November. I'm just going to encourage you to do that again.
And support your local food truck and tip well.
Well, here's my tip for everybody, just really quick before we go to break. It's not just gas prices, it's also food prices. So I've decided I'm going to use the expensive food to offset the expensive gas. And here's the trick I learned from a sacker at the Inglewood Kroger. Thank you to that incredible woman. What you do, you wait till they have a 4 times fuel points gift card sale. And then you buy yourself a Visa gift card in the amount that you would typically spend on groceries for the month. And then you spend that gift card that got you 4 times fuel points. You spend that on Fridays, which are 4 times fuel points on everything. So now you are quartupling, I'm not good at math, the fuel points you're getting. I've done this. I did this in the month of March. I went to go get gas. The gas was $4.74, but I had 80 cents off thanks to this strategy.
Ooh,
That's a great tip.
You're welcome.
thank you.
One, two, three. Donna, Donna.
Good news.
Good news. Do we both do it?
Hey, it's the weekend. It's a big weekend here in Nashville, folks. I want to shout out Sandbar is back. Are either of you familiar with Sandbar?
I've been out there a few times.
Really?
Yes, I love to hear this. Sandbar is a beach volleyball bar at One City, and it went through a little bit of a management transition, but they are back tomorrow from 5 to 11 p.m. It will be free to play the beach volleyball. They will have raffles. Marie, our friends at Aloha Fish Company, will be out there serving up the foods.
Love them.
What a terrific way to enjoy this beautiful weather is to get out and pretend like you're on a beach.
Some very exciting news. We are getting a movie theater, bowling alley, arcade coming to downtown Nashville, and it's called Hooky.
Like playing hooky.
Yeah. Not hockey.
Yes, there you go. Yes, it's coming to the Nashville Yards. I personally love going to the movies while I can eat good food. So that's what caught my eye about this. A cinema where you can order good food, some alcohol, and enjoy yourself. So, again, will I go to this? Maybe.
I know,
But it's
Nashville
just
Yards is so
another
weird.
one of these.
I'm like, what movie is this neighborhood in? This is not Nashville, but okay.
But 2 full-service cocktail bars,
2.
which
I'm in. Well,
Hey,
speaking
I
of
love-
hockey, not hooky, Preds fans got some good news this week when Scripps TV, which is News Channel 5 here locally, announced that they will be broadcasting next season's Predators games over the airwaves, like in the olden days. You will no longer need to buy some weird random Bally Sports Fan Network Southeast in order to watch the Nashville Predators. You'll be able to just turn on your television and they'll be there. I am thrilled about this. One more piece of sports news, because I know everybody loves it. We are getting professional lady basketball, folks. Is it a WNBA team? It is not. Is it affiliated, though, hopefully someday with WNBA? Yes. Nashville has officially landed the 6th team in the Upshot League, which is a new professional women's basketball league where players will have the opportunity to be called up to the WNBA if needed. And their goal is to grow this league to where every city that has a WNBA team also has an Upshot League team, which means then logically, if we have an Upshot League team, what do we need?
A WNBA team, a Women's Basketball Association.
God, I hate talking about sports
Ball.
with the two of you. In any case, this is great news. Congratulations to former council member Nancy Van Rees. I know that this is her life's work and dream. And so, Nancy, way to go. You finally got it done.
Well, no matter what you like, there is a festival for you this weekend.
There are 2 on Saturday I'm trying to decide between. There's the Cherry Blossom Festival at Public Square Park, which celebrates Japanese culture. And then there's the Outdoor Recreation Festival at Bells Bend Park, which will have outdoor vendors, food trucks, and other outdoorsy activities.
But I mean, that's not all, folks at home. Listen, do you like crafts? You can go to Crafty Bastards this weekend, which is a fair of a bunch of people who make stuff. If you like beer, you can go to East Nashville Beer Fest in East Park. All the local microbreweries will be there. Do you like cars that go zoom zoom? You can watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. race at the Fairgrounds Speedway. Marie, what are you excited about?
Well, do you like International Market?
We do.
Because they are having Patty Fest at Turkey and the Wolf, which is obviously a collab with International Market, to honor Patty on Sunday, April 12th, which I am going to be at.
I love this so much. It's also Planting Stuff Weekend. Yay, Planting Stuff Weekend. Along with early voting on Wednesday the 15th is the official first day to plant stuff here in Middle Tennessee. Fairgrounds Urban Plant Sales happening. The Perennial Plant Society sale is at Woodmont Hills Church tomorrow. If you're going to Bates or any other nursery this weekend, please be prepared to throw hands and elbows. And you know what's not happening on Wednesday, April 15th for everyone here in the Nashville area this year?
Let's do our little dance.
We got an extension on our taxes.
Yeah, even though I already filed. What the F?
Exactly.
I have
Dang
not.
it.
I have not.
Well, you have till May 22nd.
Yep.
Because of the ice storm.
Because of the ice storm. Let me ask the group a question. Would you rather have $26 or an extension on your taxes?
Well, because I've already filed, I sure would like that $26. I never got my tax return last year.
Really?
It never came. Nope.
Marie, it sounds like you've got a bit of a grievance there.
Why, yes. And it's a good thing that we have a brand spanking new segment called Hell Nah, where we get to air out our grievances and just for a sec, go off on Nashville.
Yeehaw! But sadly, folks, if you're not a CityCast Nashville neighbor, you cannot listen to our gripe this week or any week because this is our new members-only bonus content section. But here's how you can get your ears on what we are upset about. You can join CityCast Nashville neighbors right now at membership.citycast.fm/Nashville so you too can tune in. And even better, as a CityCast Nashville neighbor, you might get to hear your gripe on the show.
That's right. And folks, also, I'll be working on a little jingle later this week for Hell No. So stay tuned for that. All right. Well, I don't know about y'all, but all this chatter has made me want to go outside and touch some grass. So good thing we have got Fridays by the River tonight.
Fridays by the River.
Oh, and guess what? My favorite food truck's going to be there. Bangkok Belly.
Oh, we love Bangkok Belly. Who else, Marie?
J&D Smokers, Nicolettos, Cam Burgers, Lady Dogs, Kiwi Scoops Ice Cream, and the band for the evening is East Nashville Hot Club, which is gypsy jazz.
And folks, our last piece of advice for you on Fridays by the River this week, don't be stupid about where you park. We had a bunch of people whose vehicles were literally blocking the roads so that emergency vehicles couldn't get in. So please, for the love of God, don't be jerks. Maybe take a Waymo.
Hell no.
All right, that's it. We did it. We're done.
We did do it. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Take care of each other.
Bye, y'all.
That's That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. And don't forget, you can support this show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Nashville neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. I'm your host, Marie Cecile Anderson. Our executive producer is Whitney Pasterek. Our producer this week is Bridger Dunnigan. Our CityCast Nashville newsletter editor is Margaret Kingsbury, with extra support this week from Frankie Barnhill. Our theme music is by Prof Jenkins, with additional music by One Nail, Andy Ellison, and Tambor from Triple Scoop Music via Getty Images. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friends? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our CityCast Nashville newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Toodles!